It's real talk. 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 Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. Hey.
And here we go on this Monday. It is May 9th. It is straight up 6 o'clock, and Real Talk Memphis is on the air. Very happy to have you with us. I am your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to be here on this beautiful evening to an absolutely glorious day. I mean, we had temperatures in the upper 80s, and it's going to get hot. I see the temperatures are going to be in the 90s the next few days, and the best part about all this is that there's no rain in the forecast. So we really like that. Before I move forward, I hope each and every mother out there, in whatever form it takes, I had a wonderful Mother's Day celebration on yesterday. I always like going on social media and seeing all the love that folks give to their mothers. And I even wish Lola a happy Mother's Day. You know, her daughter comes in and visits with us from time to time as well. We have a good show for you tonight. I know that I've been talking about this for the last few days. All of us are still, I think, in shock at the very sudden passing of radio personality Bobby OJ, who died last Tuesday morning at the age of 68. He was doing what he loved. The Lord orchestrated it, so he was at work. And he was doing what he always did every day. And unfortunately, you know, for all of us, the Lord said it was time to come home. And so you know, I think it's a big shock to everybody. It was a big shock when it happened. It's still a big shock to many of us, including myself. I am, as a tribute to him, going to replay an interview that I did with him almost a year ago to the day. I did it May 10th. 2021, and I had been chasing him down for a while. Bobby wasn't one to do a lot of interviews. If you knew him and you knew about him like that, he did it, and if he did it, it was basically for the news. He did news, he did stories, you know, interviews for the various news stations, but I don't know that I had ever heard him do a radio interview about him. So he finally let me catch him, and he said, well, you know, he said, because I like the way you do it, you know, I don't have to leave my house, and I can sit here and dial in, and, you know, we had a really great conversation. So I hope you stick around. That is going to be in the second half hour, the third interview in the show. I will lay out the rest of the show in just a minute, but before we do, you know, this is the time of the program that we do a couple of things. First, we tell you how to get this fine piece of radio broadcasting, because every now and again you forget. That's why I'm here to remind you. So we're on live right now on 91.7 WYXR on the FM side. We are also live on the WYXR app. We are live on TuneIn, TUNEIN. Just put WYXR in the search and you can hear us. And we are doing a little thing we like to call Facebook Live. And a bit later on, I will post the show to YouTube. And as we are a podcast, once they post the show tomorrow, you can get this fine piece of radio broadcasting wherever you get your podcast. Now, as we move forward, this time of show, we like to celebrate. This is the celebration part of the show, where we celebrate your trip around the sun. This is the birthday time, and we like to, you know, shout you out wherever you are, and you know, say, hey, we're glad that you're still here. But I can't do that until I say, hit it, Lola.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthdays going out to Vanessa Trotter, celebrating today. Happy birthday. E. May Graves is celebrating a birthday today, as is Angela Branch. Trevor Campbell, happy birthday to you. Jean Walker is celebrating her birthday today. Susie Parker, It's not a misprint. I'm reading it right. Her first name is actually Choosy. Probably, you know. Anyway, Kenesha Rogers is also celebrating a birthday today. And W.Ann Bridges is celebrating her birthday today as well. And to each and every one of you, and to those who I may not have known or mentioned, congratulations, happy birthday to you. Happy making it another trip around the sun day to you as well. And we are looking forward to being with you next year, about this time, and we can do it all over again. Happy birthday to each and every one. Thank you, Lola. So as we get into the news and notes of the day, again, one of the prominent deaths, Bobby O.J., 68 years young, died last Tuesday morning. His funeral is set for this Saturday at World Overcomers Church. I believe the time is 11 a.m. Now, I don't have any other additional details in reference to it, but if any of you do or any of you have heard, please let me know so we can, let everyone else know as well. I also want to, before I move too far along, I heard that in the graduation ceremonies that were held all over the state and all over the country this past weekend, this graduating class from the University of Memphis was one of the largest ever. It may have been one of the largest ever graduating class. So congratulations to the Memphis State University Tigers graduating class of 2022. Many of you passing by Liberty Park, coming up Parkway, know that the second phase of the Memphis and May celebrations takes place this week. It is the Memphis and May World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. It actually starts on Wednesday night with family night, but the competition starts on Thursday. Over 200 teams will be competing for the title of World Championship Barbecuer in various categories, and also a share of more than $140,000 in prize money to be split amongst the winners. We are going to be speaking with Randy Blevins in just a few minutes. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Programming for Memphis and May. He's going to tell us how things went with the music festival and what folks can expect as we enter into this weekend. I am going to talk once again about COVID numbers because there are some subvariants of COVID that are starting to make folks sick around the country. Several strains are out there, and they emanated sort of over in South Africa, and now they're here in the United States in about 35 to 40 states. Some cases are being detected. Now, the way you sort of measure how I don't know, difficult it is, and basically the strain of all of this in terms of sickness is you see an increase in hospitalizations, and you hear about increase in deaths in hospitals, or, and those two are the lagging indicators of just how severe the infection can be. We're starting to slowly, and I mean very slowly, start to see a few hospitalizations. I hadn't heard too much about the deaths. There is still a question of just how impactful this latest virus is in terms of the severity of illness. I do know that it's pretty high in New York City. They're getting to a red zone, and that basically means that they're going to have to start to figure out, do we need to start going back to restrictions? Do we need to have people start wearing masks again and things like that? So, I know this is a personal choice. It's a personal decision for you. I know a lot of folks don't want to hear about it, but if you've not been vaccinated, you really need to get vaccinated. And I mean, any kind of protection that you can get is better than no kind of protection at all. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep watching it. A side note, Dr. Steve Thurkel, who is an infectious disease specialist, who I have on the show occasionally, joined me a couple of weeks ago. And we were texting over the weekend, and he said, by the way, Chip, he said, your show was pathetic. He said, now we're starting to see healthcare workers getting sick as a result of these new variants starting to move into the area. So just be careful out there. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but the Mason, Tennessee folks, the town that had some very serious financial issues for years and years, Apparently, they have reached an agreement with the state comptroller's office to start to work out a plan for their financial status and turn things around. In turn, the town rather, has decided to dismiss its lawsuit against the state. So we'll keep an eye on it and watch it and see. But I'm very happy that the folks in Mason and the comptroller's office came to an agreement, and hopefully they can get the books balanced. By the way, before I walked in here, I always like to see if there's any breaking news. Well, breaking news, many of you heard about the escaped convict and the corrections officer who was with him. Well, they've been on the run for 9 days, and they were caught a short time ago in Evansville, Indiana, after a car chase. They apparently crashed out. The convict is arrested. The corrections deputy is in the hospital, not from the crash, but she tried to shoot herself. It was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So we will see where all that goes, but they have been captured and they are now on their way to a very, very long prison sentence. Memphis police arrested a woman yesterday, I believe it was, who allegedly admitted to shooting at 2 women with an AR-15 assault rifle. She shot at them from inside of her house. She saw them walking down the street, and she decided that she would open her front door and she would begin shooting from the inside. Now, her name is Jasmine Rice. She told police that she bought the high-powered weapon off the street for $200. An AR-15 assault rifle she bought off the street for $200. She did confess at firing 4 shots at the victims. Luckily, they were not hurt or injured. I'm gonna shift gears to basketball. The Grizzlies play tonight, game 4 against the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. Golden State is up 2-1. John Morant is injured and he won't play tonight. The Grizzlies are being real coy with this injury. It's a knee injury, and from all indications, he won't play tonight. He may not play for the remainder of the series. We'll know more about that as time moves along, but I'm sure there'll be some great watch parties tonight, as there have been ever since they started this thing. And so let's root the Grizzlies on and see what happens. Now, I don't bet horse racing. This past Saturday was the Kentucky Derby. I don't bet horse racing, but if anybody had the winner of the Kentucky Derby, which was Rich Strike, at odds that were 80-1, 80-1. Everybody was shocked. I mean, they were so. I think the horse was shocked. The horse might have passed out. I'm not exactly sure what might have happened after the race, but that horse won, and it was Rich Strike. And if anybody had 80-1 odds, it was a Rich Strike for somebody. That's for doggone sure. So I think I'm going to wrap up the news and notes segment of the program here. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Memphis in May, where we are so far, what has been happening, how things are going, what we can expect this week. We're going to be speaking with Randy Blevins in just a minute. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are, and we coming right back. You there? Randy? Randy, can you hear me? Hey, Randy, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Very good. Well, listen, we're in commercial break. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And we'll be back after the commercial break in just a couple of minutes, okay?
No problem. I'm standing by.
All right. Thanks, man.
We're getting funky this go-round with the High Rhythm section and their 1976 LP, On the Loose. Grammy Award-winning producer Boo Mitchell and High Rhythm band members, the great Leroy Hodges, Archie Hubby Turner, and Reverend Charles E. Hodges will come along to commemorate the album. Listen to this Memphis funk masterpiece like you've never heard it at the state-of-the-art Memphis Listening Lab. WYXR Stereo Sessions presented by Nexair and Mempho. featuring high rhythm sections on the loose, is sponsored by Orion, Duncan Williams, Archer Malmo, Fat Possum Records, Memphis Listening Lab, and Via Productions. The event is powered by a grant from Humanities Tennessee. Thank you very much. RSVP at wyxr.org.
Support for WYXR comes from Focal Point. Located in Crosstown Concourse, Focal Point is the Southern College of Optometry clinical facility that offers exclusive designer eyewear lines and eco-friendly frames, which meets the needs of patients who value style, customized fits, and a personalized approach to their eyes. Learn more at focalpointcrosstown.com.
They don't know you're beloved all the
The Orpheum's 2022-2023 Broadway season brings you powerful stories and powerhouse performances. Season packages include all 6 spectacular shows, the opportunity to add 2 incredible season options, and exclusive VIP perks. Learn more at orpheum-memphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
It's real talk. 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 It's real talk.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening. Chip Washington with you. Glad to have you along for the ride here on Real Talk Memphis. And of course, after a 2-year absence, one of the biggest music festivals in the country made its return to Memphis, Tennessee. We had the music festival a couple of weeks ago, and it looked like a lot of fun. A lot of folks were out there enjoying themselves, having a good time. Phase 2 of it starts this week. And if you'll be soon smelling the waft of barbecue in the air. And to join me to talk about this is Randy Blevins. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Programming for Memphis in May. And Randy, good to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Glad to be here. It's barbecue week.
It is barbecue week. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Before we talk a little bit about barbecue week, and I know there's a lot coming up, take me back to a week or so ago. Of course, it's been 2 years that we all suffered with COVID and did not have the event happen. It made its triumphant return. And from your view, from your perch, your perspective, how'd things go?
I think it went really well. You're right. We were without the Memphis in May Beale Street Music Festival for 2 full years. And it was sorely missed. Everyone had a really strong appetite to see live music again, and particularly our Beale Street Music Festival fans eagerly jumped on the tickets right away. It was really nice to see everything come back together, to see the stages filled again, to see A-list artists performing in the city of Memphis again in May and the springtime like we've always had. And it just felt good to be back. You know, one of the things that I enjoyed more than anything else really was walking around the festival site and seeing people just enjoying themselves, walking from stage to stage, stopping and buying a pronto pup or something, and not really being in a hurry, just grooving to the music and enjoying themselves. You know, that's what it's all about. And it was great to see that come back again.
Absolutely, man. I did not go down, but I did, watch it on the news and see a lot of the highlights of it. So how many, is it too early to make a determination as to how big the crowds were, or total cumulative crowd estimated for the Music Fest?
Well, we always tally up everything at the end of the festival. So
Okay.
at the end of May, we'll provide a comprehensive review of how everything went, event to event.
So we had to shift gears, obviously, not only coming back after 2 years, but shifted locations to Liberty Park. Talk to me about the logistics and how you feel things turned out. It looked like everything went pretty smooth to me.
It went really well. We we have a different configuration over here. There's a lot of discussion about that, but in reality, it's not that big of a deal as far as the difference is concerned. We still have 3 big stages, one giant blues tent, rather than being configured one right after the other up and down the beautiful Mississippi River. They were configured more in a giant triangle or a square. So the elements are all still there. It worked out quite well, with a new venue and a new facility. There's a learning curve with that.
Sure.
The Liberty Bowl fit folks were excellent to work with, but when you bring this many people into a new site, you learn what the public really likes to do, and the public will do what it wants to do. And one thing we learned was that everyone likes to come in off Central Avenue. And consequently, I can tell you that for the barbecue cooking contest, use the Southern Avenue gate. No line, no waiting there. So, we've reconfigured some things to try and help guide the flow of the crowd as they come and go.
We are speaking with Randy Blevins. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Programming for Memphis in May. And Randy, the next big event, which is almost becoming, maybe it is the preeminent barbecue cooking contest event in this country, kicks off on Wednesday. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect in this 2022 version.
Well, I can tell you it is the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, and it is the preeminent and has been the preeminent barbecue cooking contest for decades now. Memphis in May World Championship is the Super Bowl of swine. It is the king of all barbecue cooking contests. And what we've done is we take basically the Bill Street Festival site and flip it from being 3 stages in the big blues tent to basically a giant neighborhood. We have the rib category, of the whole hog category, the shoulder category, and we build out an infrastructure. So these rows and streets of all the different barbecue cooking teams come in, over 200 of them. Right. And they all start loading in. They started loading in yesterday and today, and it all kicks off on Wednesday.
So and again, kudos to the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, which is the biggie, which is the Super Bowl, right, as you said, of swine. I like that, by the way. I'm going to steal that. And so they all come in from all across the country, but it really is, a lot of these folks, who are going to be competing here, compete in various events, cooking events all across the country. So they get to know each other. So I like the term you used about really it is a family event. I'd like you to talk a little bit more about that, because there's a real comfort and familiarity to all of this for everybody involved.
That's right. There's really 2 different things going on. You have the barbecue world. You have all the celebrities in barbecue. And you're right. They've competed in other events around the country. They may own their own restaurants. They're celebrities in their own right. You have that mixed in with people that have applied and been accepted, that are backyard barbecuers, but are just really good. It's when barbecue world comes together. They're friends. It's a familiarity. But it's also the Memphians that are here. Memphians love to come to the barbecue cooking contest. I like to say the barbecue cooking contest becomes our city's biggest backyard, where everyone is grilling and chilling out, meeting with friends, whether it's barbecue celebrities or just your friends and neighbors around the corner that have gotten together and put together a barbecue team.
Yeah, I mean, it really has that feel to it. And, I've been out there several times before, and you walk out there and it's just very comfortable. It just people, like you say, everybody knows everybody. It's like a reunion. It's like it's like an annual reunion every year. They're coming back and they're seeing old friends and making new friends at the same time. So how many different categories do we have in terms of folks competing?
Well, you have the 3 big categories. It's the biggie, which is ribs, whole hog, and shoulder. And those are the 3 categories that everyone's competing for, which is where it will lead to the grand champion, which is the biggest prize you can have in barbecue every year. This year we'll have a purse of over $140,000 up for grabs, which is the largest purse in Memphis in May history. It's also bragging rights. If you can compete and win or place well in the Memphis in May World Championship, you'll put yourself on the map. And there are people that will have competed for decades, and when they hit the top 10 and get to walk across the Memphis May stage, it's something that that everyone's goal will be when they're competing.
It really is. And, I know it takes a lot of work to put this together. Do you literally start planning for next year's event after this year's event is concluded?
Of course, we'll have a debriefing in June, and then right around July or so, we begin the process for planning. And we have about a 12-month calendar. We really roll up the sleeves in earnest to get working. Toward the end of the summer, but the process starts all over again right away.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of work, and of course, Tom Lee Park is being worked on and redesigned. Are you excited about what it's going to look like, and getting back to a very familiar venue for next year?
Well, the Tom Lee Park venue for us is key because so many of our visitors, both for the Beale Street Music Festival and as well for the barbecue cooking contest, come from out of town,
right.
Over 200 miles away. So if you're coming in from out of town, not just from Memphis, then where are you going to stay? We stay in the hotels, and the largest concentration of hotels in the city of Memphis is downtown.
Yeah, right.
So it's important for us to be close to the concentration of hotels. Then the other thing about being along the riverfront is that it sets us apart. Differentiation is key. You can plop a barbecue cooking contest or a concert or a festival anywhere in the world with the right amount of space, but when you have the backdrop of our beautiful cityscape and the majestic, mighty Mississippi River, that's what sets us apart. It's the atmosphere that our natural environment creates, helps to grow our festival to where it is today. So to answer your question is yes, we'll be very excited to get back into that home.
Wrapping up with Randy Blevins from the Memphis and May organization. Randy, before I let you get out of here, tell folks how they can get into the barbecue cooking contest, ticket prices and things like that.
Yeah, well, we start, it kicks off on Wednesday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have nightly entertainment, including the Spin Doctors on Friday and Tonal Oak on Saturday. You can buy tickets in advance at memphisandmay.org. That way you don't have to wait in line. You'll save a little money. It's $13 in advance. And of course, you can buy them at the gate for $15.
Well, man, I can tell you right now, I'm looking forward to it. The weather is going to be amazing. No rain in sight. And but listen, man, thank you so much for taking some time to. I know you're busy,
my pleasure.
And coming on the show and getting us all geared up for the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. Thank you, Randy Blevins. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right,
thanks,
care.
Chip.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all you needed to know about the barbecue cooking contest, the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, which kicks off on Wednesday and winds up with the champion on Saturday. Maybe I'll see you out there. You never can tell. We're going to take second break, actually. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about economic development, especially over in the Soulsville area in south part of Memphis. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Hang on, right back. There he is. Jeffery T. Higgs, how are you, sir?
What's up, bro? I am running to get in here.
Hey, man. Well, look, I appreciate you. You man, you running, doing your thing. I like that hat you got on.
I even had it on still.
Listen, we're in commercial break, man. I'll be with you in just a minute, okay? Stand by.
Cool.
All right. Oh, I was going to say before my senior moment kicked in that we have had over 100 views.
The Orpheum Theater Group presents Mending Hearts Camp, July 11th through July 26th. Mending Hearts is a performing arts day camp for young people who have experienced the death of one or both parents. Surrounded by a community of peers who have experienced a similar loss, campers explore their creativity through a variety of performing arts and community building activities. Information at orpheum-memphis.com/mendinghearts.
Support for WYXR, including our 2022 stereo sessions, comes from Duncan Williams Asset Management. They specialize in financial management for individual investors, businesses, nonprofits, and foundations. More information at dwassetmgmt.com.
Put your money where your mouth is. Or you ain't saying nothing.
Support for WYXR comes from the Orpheum Theater on Main Street in downtown Memphis. Live Nation presents Rainbow Kitten Surprise Thursday night, December 8th at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now for Rainbow Kitten Surprise at livenation.com.
Sugar City, come home.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
It's real talk. 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 It's real talk.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening, May 9th. Very happy to have you with us and very happy to have my next guest with us. You know, we always talk about civic improvement, civic engagement, you know, pride in the areas that you live and you work in. Well, the gentleman I'm about to introduce is really not just making those words. He's actually putting some action behind those words. We all know the Soulsville area, the part of South Memphis, over around the Warren College and things like that, older part of town. You know, not in the best shape. But Jeffery Higgs, who is the president of LOCCDC, and he'll explain what those letters mean in just a second, is joining me now. He's the president of this organization that is dedicated to improving the complete area and the environment in the South Memphis area. And Jeffery, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. You know, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad to do it, man. Glad anytime we can talk about community development, you know, I'm all in.
It's a big thing, man. And I know how busy you are, but I wanted to get you on the show because, you know, I'd read about some of the things that you're working on, and you and I sort of talked off air about some of the projects that you are looking at trying to do, recreate and you know, just sort of revitalize that area over there. Tell us, first of all, I know that you're a product of that neighborhood and that community over there. What made you decide that this was your mission and something very important to you?
Well, and probably a lot of your listeners won't know about this, but I grew up in the Fowler homes. It was Joseph A. Fowler homes.
Yeah.
On Mason Street, right down the street from Mason Temple.
Mason Temple, yes, sir.
Yeah. And as a little boy, man, I remember 1968, and it was raining that night, and we was out there hustling, trying to make money, parking cars, because when the convocation with coaching used to come to town, that's how we made money. We get a quarter for parking cars.
Yes, sir.
So I go back a long way with 3126 Chip. I went to La Rose, didn't get to go to Booker T. Washington, but went to Southside, graduated, left, came back, enrolled in Lemoyne Owen, which is in that neighborhood, and just got a rich history over there, and it's a neighborhood in need of a lot, and with a lot of history. And so I was working in another state, and the CFO at the college called me because we used to work together at a CPA firm. He said, "Hey man, we need somebody to come back and revitalize our CDC." And that was in '99, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
So you have several projects that you are working on at the same time. Kind of give us a brief overview at some of your priority contracts at this time, things you're doing.
Yeah, so one of the things we're real excited about is the 38126 Innovation and Technology Center.
Okay.
Everybody know about the four-way grill, right? Y'all can't wait Thursday so you can go eat.
That's right.
Well, when you're over there this Thursday, if you look right across the street, you're gonna see this big empty spot of land. And
Okay.
it was used to be a building there, and we knocked it down, and we're going to put up this 13,000 square foot, 2-story innovation center that's going to bring technology and gaming and office space and retail and food right into the neighborhood. State of the art. We're going to bring technology and broadband access to the people who live in that neighborhood.
That's a big deal. That's a very, very, very big deal. And from that, what do you hope to see as a return?
Well, we first, ease of access.
Mhm.
That's one thing we're going to do. Because believe it or not, there's a fiber line, not a cable line, but there's a fiber internet line running right through that community. And it's not being used
Okay.
a lot. Stacks has access to it, but it's not being used a lot. And the college has access. And so we hope to be able to tap into that and deliver low cost. Comcast and all the folks don't want to hear this, but we're going to try to bring low cost.
Go ahead, tell it.
Access into the neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
And the larger part of that, Chip, is about 7, 6, and 16, I think. We created a group. It was a group of us that was always meeting, and we always see each other, and we always working in the neighborhood. And we created this thing called the Soulsville, USA Neighborhood Development District. And so that's the group that's behind the TIF. That's why I just left county commission, city council, because we have to go through 4 readings. TIF is going to do wonders for this community. It'll probably be, I think, the 3rd or 4th TIF, and certainly the only one in our inner city, low income, census tract neighborhood. So we are really excited about that.
In case you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with Jeffery Higgs, and he is the president of the LOC CDC, and basically what they are trying to do is completely redevelop the Soulsville area. And Randy, I was thinking about this. I mean, Jeffrey, I'm sorry, I was thinking about this over the weekend.
Right.
What does Soulsville mean to you now, and what will it mean to you once you get your projects up and moving?
Right. So first of all, we got to get the name right. So when you say Soulsville, you're talking about 940 or 915 Macklemore. You're talking about Stacks.
Right. Okay.
So you have to put the USA on the end of it. That's
USA. Okay.
Yeah, you got to put that on the end.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you and I both will be getting lawsuits from California and from.
I don't need that. I have no money. So
Beanie Parker would be mad with us.
I got you. Soulsville, USA. I'm sorry.
And anybody can use that, and that's the neighborhood. And really, what it means is just a neighborhood, man, with a lot of tradition and history.
Yes,
Think
sir.
about it. Maurice White came out of this neighborhood. Richard Pryor used to walk down Macklemore when he was recording at Stacks. Lemoyne in college, 160 years.
That's right.
And so, that's what it means, man. It's the culture, the history, the civil rights history, the 4-way grill, Miss Cleaves up there. That is Metropolitan Church.
Yeah.
It's the history, and we have to preserve that history. And that's what it means to me, man.
Well, you are clearly, on the right track as pertains to, where you are and the progress that you are making. Before I let you go, is there a timetable to the various levels or steps of the progress you're trying to make?
Well, we are going to try to be coming out of the ground this summer with the Technology Center.
Okay.
Chip, and I'm not the only one. There are about 4 or 5 board members of the SNDD, and they all, Lemoyne is on there, SMA with Commissioner Reginald Milton, Knowledge Quest right down the street, the Firehouse, Rebecca Hutchinson, Attorney Kimbrough. So there's a lot of there's about 5 of us, and we got projects. One of the knocks, and then I know you got to go, but one of the knocks against our TIF was we didn't have enough projects. But, we've got projects just waiting to be able to take advantage of the TIF. So I think over the next year to 2 years, people are really going to see a transformation. We've done a lot over there, with the town center and Stacks and College Park. But I think over the next 2 to 3 years, you're really going to see a transformation. And it's by people that look like us, not to exclude anybody, but we know how to revitalize our neighborhood. And we can do that without a lot of that G word. I don't use that.
I know where you're going.
But we know how to do it. We know how to revitalize our neighborhoods, and we've got the experience. And when I say we, I mean a collective we, not just myself, because it takes a group of folks to do this. And so we're excited about that.
Man, we're excited for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have Jeffrey back on the show as we start to move along, in terms of the progress and breaking ground and some of these amazing projects that you're talking about in terms of technology and really lifting that community, which so desperately needs to be lifted,
Yes.
And to becoming really something that we can be proud of, and that can really be a showcase for our city. So kudos to you, my friend, for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, and glad to come back at any time.
Absolutely. Jeffery Higgs, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey, thank you so much. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, man. Take care.
You're welcome.
Well, that was a really, really good, kind of a lesson as to where we are and where we are going in the future, which it sounds to me like the future, as they say, is very, very bright. We're going to take our final break of the show. And I hope that those of you who are checking us out right now will stay with us a few more minutes. I had said earlier that we did an interview with the great, legendary radio broadcaster Bobby OJ about a year ago. All of us are mourning his passing today. And he will be funeralized this weekend at World Overcomers Church. I did an interview with him on this very radio station 1 year ago to the day tomorrow. We're going to rebroadcast that interview in its entirety because he didn't do many. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Support for WYXR comes from Focal Point. Located in Crosstown Concourse, Focal Point is a Southern College of Optometry clinical facility that offers exclusive designer eyewear lines and eco-friendly frames, which meets the needs of patients who value style, customized fits, and a personalized approach to their eyes. Learn more at focalpointcrosstown.com.
They don't know you're beloved all the time.
The Halloran Center for Performing Arts and Education, next door to the Orpheum, invites you to be the center of it all through live entertainment, arts education, community programs, and event spaces all year round. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
It's real talk. 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 It's real talk.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis. I am your host, Chip Washington. And I got to tell you, before we even get into this interview, I have been chasing this man down for a couple of years. And I don't think it is a stretch to say that he does not do interviews. He very rarely does interviews. And if you see him, you'll see him generally on TV. But he is a radio broadcast legend in this state in particular, and just in his career. And yes, I'll be the 200th person to say that he was recently inducted or will be inducted into the Tennessee Radio Association Broadcasters Hall of Fame. He is WDIA, and he is Mr. Bobby O.J. Bobby, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the kind words.
Well, listen, I've known you for a while now, and I was just when I reached out to you again after I had heard that you had been inducted into the hall, and when you told me yes, I almost fell off my chair.
Well, you know what?
Yes, sir.
Basically, man, when you told me it was going to be done in this manner, I felt comfortable doing it because I didn't have to leave home.
No, sir.
I don't have to go through a lot. I could just, dial up on my phone and do the conversation. So you made it easy to do.
Well, look, I appreciate that. And again, congratulations from all of us here at WYXR, but just all Bobby O.J. WDIA fans everywhere, not just here in the state of Tennessee, but all across the country on this tremendous honor. And I will say that it is long overdue. But having said that, how do you feel about all that?
I feel great about it. I do. I was not expecting it. When I heard the news, I was like, wow. So I'm elated about it.
It has been a long time coming. And I believe I heard you are the fourth WDIA radio personality to be inducted. Am I correct in that?
Yes, it's Nat D. Williams, who was the first Black radio personality on WDIA. And then there's Rufus Thomas. As you know, Rufus was known worldwide. We also did a radio show on WDIA pretty close to 50 years. And then, of course, there's Bev Johnson. Mm-hmm. And now it's Bobby O.J. But also, WDIA, the radio station, is in the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. The station was inducted the same year Rufus Thomas was inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame.
You've been in this business a while, and do you mind telling us how long you have actually been in the radio game?
Since 1972.
And that is how many years? I can't calculate.
That's 49 years.
40, how many?
49.
49 years. 49 years. That is some kind of track record. And I listen to you every day, and I've heard people ask you, Bobby, when are you gonna retire? When are you gonna sit back, relax? And you said, when I can't talk. You love this business this much. What has radio meant to you as you just take a look back over your career?
Well, it's meant a pretty easy life.
Okay. I'll take that.
Listen, anytime you can do what you love for a living, get paid a decent salary for it, that's a great thing. I love to talk on the radio, but when I'm not on the radio, I really don't care that much for talking. Of course, yeah. I mean, I'll talk to people, but I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna sit around and just go blah 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 blah. But man, since 1972, my life has just been unbelievable in this radio business. From working, I could say from coast to coast, but I never worked on the West Coast. Did work on the East Coast for, if you can call Flint, Michigan, the East Coast.
Okay. You worked in Chicago too, did you not?
I worked in Chicago for 4 years, from 1978 to 1982. Okay.
All right. So for those of us who don't know, what brought you to Memphis, Tennessee and WDIA?
Well, speaking of Chicago, before Chicago, I got my start in Montgomery, Alabama in 1972. Mm-hmm. And from Montgomery, I went back to Milwaukee, where I got my, I can't say broadcasting degree. I went to broadcasting school, but they weren't giving degrees. They were giving out, they weren't even giving out diplomas. They were giving out certificates. So I went back to Milwaukee, and I was offered a job there after I'd been on the air for a little while in Montgomery, Alabama. And I was in Milwaukee for about a year.
Mhm.
Then I got a job offer in Houston in 1973. So I went to Houston for about a year, left there, which was a dumb mistake, and some friends to Flint, Michigan, because I was thinking I'll be closer to Milwaukee. And the reason why I wanted to be closer to Milwaukee is because I had gotten married and my wife and baby didn't like Houston. So my wife told me at the time, you know, if you want to save the marriage, you know, you need to get back to Milwaukee. So I couldn't get a job in Milwaukee. So I got a job in Flint, Michigan.
Wow.
And I figured I could go over there every weekend. But that was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, really. But then again, maybe not, because maybe I wouldn't be here. But so after Houston, I went to Dallas in 1977.
Right.
And then I got a phone call to go to Chicago in 78. And that was from 78 to 82. And in 1983, after I had gone back to Houston for a short stint, I got a phone call. February of 83, I got a phone call from the people that were over at WDIA, and they asked me to come and be the program director and the morning man. And that was 1983, and I've been here ever since.
We are speaking with Bobby OJ. He is the legendary radio personality, morning guy, 6 to 10 a.m. Central Time on WDIA radio, heard coast to coast. And Bobby, you mentioned that you are the program director. You have been for quite some time. For those who don't know, tell us what a program director's role is.
Well, it has changed over the years. When I became the program director in 1983, my job was to make sure that the radio station stayed on track to get ratings so we could get revenue. My job also was to oversee the music that was played on the radio station, how the music was played on the radio station. My job was to hire the radio personalities, manage them, you know, to work with them, to make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to do on the air. And everything that was on the air was my job as program director. Everything except the commercials. We had a sales department for that, but anything else, from music to the disc jockeys to the news, all of that comes under the title, comes under my job duties as program director.
That's everything. Like you said, that is absolutely, and that's mind-boggling that you have to do that day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Yeah, how has the role? I'm sorry, Bobby. How has the role of that role in particular changed as time has evolved?
Well, about 20 years ago, up until about 20 years ago, the program director's job. Some radio stations have program directors and music directors. I tried that, but I realized that every week I was going to be spending a lot of time with the music director, disagreeing about what songs ought to be played on the radio station. So since I'm responsible for the sound of the radio station, I thought it would be best if I picked the music too. Mm-hmm. So I still do that, but up until about 20 years ago, the program director would program the music with, we would use little red dots to put on each song. Mm-hmm. And we use a blue dot maybe for the top, for the songs that need to be rotated every 2 hours. Uh-huh. We would put a red dot on a song that has to be rotated maybe every 4 hours. And so, every week, sometimes every other day, you're changing the dots.
On the songs, okay.
On all of these songs, okay. You got like maybe, close to maybe 35, 40 songs that you constantly got to change dots on. Yeah. So every day you're running in the studio, changing this and changing that. Then the other thing is that that's what happened. That's what we did up until 20 years ago. Now, everything is done through a computer. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, right before I got on this call, I was sitting at my kitchen table, programming the music for tomorrow. And what I do, the music system schedules the music. But what I do, I go in and I massage every hour, meaning this. meaning I will look at the music that's going to play in one particular hour, and I'll say, well, this song is not going to sound right after this song. This song right here will sound better after this particular song. So every day, 7 days a week, I go through every hour of music on WDIA, been doing it forever, to make sure that one song flows into the next song. I mean, it's because, you know, I just don't believe in sitting around throwing some music on the radio. Like, you know, when I program, man, I like to program based on what I like. You know, and so that has proven that based on what I like, a whole bunch of other people like it too, because the radio station is still doing very well. So, you know, so that's how I basically program the radio station, man. Every single day, I massage the music.
That is really, really something. And I would have never known that process, nor would have a lot of other folks who are listening as well. WDIA is a standalone, is one of the greatest stations really in this country. And before I let you go, one last question. What, in your opinion, I mean, I listen to you every morning, by the way, and I'm not just saying that because you're on the radio. I listen to you every morning because I enjoy the music and I enjoy the callers and the colorful folks as well. But what makes WDIA, in your opinion, such a great radio station?
It's a fun radio station. It truly is, man. People love the radio station. Even when I was a kid listening to WDIA down in Mississippi, the radio station was just a fun sounding radio station, just fun. You know, we know how to be serious, but in general, overall, it's just a fun sounding radio station. It makes people feel good to listen to the radio station.
It really does. It really, really does, from the top to the bottom. And you are a master at what you do, not only from the music perspective, but also from the listener caller perspective as well. Bobby OJ, congratulations again on being inducted. Well-deserved, well-earned, long overdue. And I'm saying thank you from me, but from all your fans as well. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chip. It's been fun talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Well, it's been great talking to you as well. Thank you, Bobby OJ. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, buddy. Bobby OJ, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary radio personality. You heard him, 49 years on radio in this country. And that was Bobby OJ. And we're all sitting here in the studio thinking about it and talking about him. And it's a big loss. It is. And as Lola plays us out, just so fortunate to have had him as a guest on this radio show, and to thank him for all of the entertainment and fun that he provided for all of us, not only here in Memphis, but coast to coast across this country. And I dare say even farther than that. Big loss. Bobby OJ, God bless you. Rest in heaven, rest in love. And may your memory always be a blessing to each and every one of us. For Lola, for Nicole, for all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, God bless each and every one of you. And if the Lord says so, we'll be back here next week, same time, same station, and we'll try to do it just a little bit better. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm Chip, and I'm out. Have a great week.